All right, here we are. We are live. It is Sunday night, January 14th, 2024, and you are on Sunday Night Live with Dr. Paula. And I have a very special guest tonight, my dear friend Katya Dmitrieva. I still don't really know how to pronounce your last name, even though we are good friends. So it's Russia.
I have a difficult last name to pronounce.
That's okay. All you have to do is remember Katya, right? So Katya was gracious enough to come on the show tonight. We're going to talk about intuition. And so if you have questions, go ahead and put those in caps in the comments. And just want to welcome everybody in here. I see Uncle Al posted this over to the community page. Be inspired with Sana. It's good to see you. Thanks for coming in here. If you come in, go ahead and make sure you hit the thumbs up button and then share this out, because I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. That was my goal by the end of 2023. And I fell slightly short, but you know what? I only had 15 subscribers a year prior to that. So it's still a win, right, Katya? We know that. Yes, right?
Can I share one secret with the audience? Like, don't tell anybody, right? I remember I been at the beginning, I think, of your podcast when we all sat at the dinner table at BDC event, right? So, and you talked about your desire to create this podcast, and you are so amazing, so successful with that. So yeah, it's great job. Thank you for your podcast.
Thank you. I was actually, I'll say this now, is that Katya and I were in a business group together, and I got to my comment. So thank you so much for that comment, that she remembers when I was just starting this, and I have another show as well. But I remember when Katya was just building her school. So we're going to get to the fact that she has a school for intuitive life coaching, which is just incredible. But I remember sitting in the room when you were just talking about building it. It was just this idea that you were trying to figure out all the pieces. And now you have a full-fledged intuitive life coaching school. And that was so cool to see that. So you are a rock star also, my friend. And how many classes have you graduated so far?
And we are on the 8th class, and the 9th class will start on February 3rd.
Oh my gosh. That's amazing. I mean, are you just like, you kind of like pinching yourself going, wow, this is incredible?
You know what? Yes, but I have a confession to make. So I really want to make the 2024 the year of walking the talk and being in alignment. We talked about it a little bit, right? That all entrepreneurs are talking about being in alignment, finding the alignment with who they are, with their work, with their passion, with their intuition. So I also want to make 2024 about it. So I have a confession to make that I have been my worst critic.
Really?
And I'm like, okay.
Pretty common when you're a high achiever like you are.
Probably.
What's your biggest criticism about yourself? So when you say that, where do you see that in you?
Like probably in so I know how great of a coach I am, and what we offer in our academy, and what our students enjoy being a part of the academy. My criticism is more in maybe marketing, sales, and like being all the right things at the right time, at the same time, everywhere, doing all the right things. And that has been quite a challenge. And maybe there are some entrepreneurs who listening to us now, and maybe they can relate, right, with this pressure all over from around us, to be perfect, to do all the things, to be right in the. It's very challenging and can bring a lot of anxiety and self-doubt.
Hit the nail on the head, because I think that's just common, so common among entrepreneurs in general. And I don't necessarily know if we're harder on ourselves. You're intuitive. You might be able to answer that more than I could, or confirm or deny that. But you're right. And the thing is, it's like going into business. I went to chiropractic college. I didn't learn how to have a chiropractic business. Here we are now, we're podcasting and speaking and doing all of these things. We're also not marketers. We were not taught this. So we're relying on YouTube, each other experts, because in the reality of things, I'm not monetized on this platform. I don't have the revenue for a team of people, or even, marketers are expensive. So at least for me, I'm doing it all myself. I am a one-woman show. And so same thing, I get down on myself. I'm like, you should be doing more. You should, I spent 4 hours in a workshop yesterday morning on sales and systems. That was amazing. I will share some of that with you offline. But I was so inspired afterwards. I sat in front of my computer for almost 4 hours, putting everything I had just learned into practice, which was very timely. It was things I was going to be working on anyway, but now I had a plan. And then I was like, I just want to go lay down on the couch for half an hour. And I actually felt guilty for stopping. I just spent 8 hours on myself. And I was like, I just want to go sit down and watch Border Patrol, because that's like my, obsession is watching that show. But yeah, we do so much, and yet we beat ourselves up for not doing enough. Why do you think that is?
That's a good question. And I think it's a very important conversation for us to have, because you can see all the successes, you can see people making millions, right? And they say, oh, just follow your heart, just be organic, just be authentic and manifest. No, even though I teach manifestation, I teach intuition, it doesn't happen that way. What they're missing is that maybe they have a MBA in marketing, right? Like maybe they took this classes, maybe they have like 20 people who are working for them. And it's kind of like creates this mentality for entrepreneurs of that they are less than, right? That they are not worthy, that they are not, and that creates this constant guilt. Oh my God, like right now I don't know, having lunch. I should have been doing something else. Or if for 1 minute I stop, I will do something that may be self-care, but it will, I will feel guilty, and I'm a loser, right? Like listen to what could be helpful is to listen to what we actually say to ourselves. Take one day and journal thoughts that come to your mind. They will be horrendous.
Yeah.
Horrendous. Like things like I don't even want to say and bring. But sometimes it would be helpful to actually be conscious of your own thoughts. We are very judgmental. We feel guilty, but we don't know that maybe these people who are now very successful, it took them years and years, and also years of failures and years of learning and years of trying different things. So yeah, there is guilt. But what I do in these moments when I have this like gremlin talking in my ear, I actually coach myself, or I call my coach, or I would reach out to people like you and say, Paula, right now I'm actually executing myself.
You can call me anytime.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and you have this uncanny way, and I want to dive deep into that, because I think that self-talk is so important. And I have two thoughts on that. First of all, you have the most uncanny, it's your intuition. I will be in my office, I'll be feeling something, there'll be some kind of negative emotion coming over me. And Katya lives on the West Coast, and suddenly I'll get a text message, hey, are you okay? And I'm like, how in the heck does she know? But when you're connected by friendship and then that level of intuition and caring and love, people feel what you're feeling. And when it comes to that negative self-talk, I love that exercise of keeping a journal. I have patients, they'll sit in my chair before they get adjusted, and they'll just talk horribly about that. I'm such an idiot. I can't believe it. What a dummy. And they say that, and I'll stand in front of them and I'll go, you are a dummy. You are an idiot. And they kind of go like this. And I go, was that okay for me to call you that? And they're like, well, I mean, it's true. And I go, is it true? Because if I just walked up to you and said, you're an idiot, you're a dummy, you'd walk out of this office. Why is it okay that you can walk around all day long and say these things to yourself? You would not allow that from a stranger or me or a loved one. Why do you allow it from the one person you should be loving most deeply? And that is you. Such a deep lesson. And so that is a constant, we have to constantly be reminding ourselves of positive self-talk. Switch it.
Yeah. The paradox here is that the closer the person to us, the meaner we are with them, right? Like with parents, with friends, we can say things that we would never say. And we are the closest person to us that can be, right? And we are the worst critic, the worst enemy, the worst judge with ourselves.
Yeah. Well, before we dive in, we're already diving in. So we're just going to go. But I want to define intuition from your perspective. What does that actually mean to you? And how can we talk to other people about intuition? Because also when we say intuition, oftentimes, or even life coach, people take, oh, that's woo woo, that's a bunch of hogwash. But this is a really, really important topic. So define intuition for us as it applies to what you're teaching and how you teach.
Absolutely. Thank you for the question. Actually, as human beings, we all have intuition. And my conspiracy theory is that why this was called like a witchcraft, right? Like, or something that no one wanted to, like, it was like, yeah, like I know that intuitive person, call them, like, but don't never say that I gave you their number, right? So something like that. Even very successful, even very well-known people did that, but they did it kind of like secretly. My conspiracy theory about it is that, of course, every person has a logical mind and intuitive mind, conscious and subconscious. And we can make intuition as woo-woo as you want and as less woo-woo as you want. And connecting with your subconscious, connecting with your intuition actually means to connect with yourself on a very deep level, to connect with your authenticity, to really know who you are, to live life aware of who you are, conscious and aware. And again, we'll repeat that my conspiracy theory is that in order to kind of control society, to control people, for that control, we need more like a logical mind, right? Like more like, okay, if you do this, this will happen, or do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then. So it's easier to control people with that approach. If masses, if or people start to become aware, there are some dangers in that, right? Like, what if people start like, wait a minute, actually, I don't like that. I don't like how you treat me. Oh, actually, I have boundaries, or that's not working for me. I like that, and there could be some difficulties and problems with people who are more self-aware, more conscious, more in tune with themselves and their intuition. Like, to simplify, intuition is connecting with your intuition is your ability to connect with yourself. And I like to give this example that, let's say you come to a party and there is like very noisy, very loud, and you want to talk to someone in that room, but you're trying to shout across the room, and they're like, what are you saying? Like, you need to either kick out everybody, and would be probably mean. So you need to leave the room with that person and then have a conversation. The same thing with intuition. Like, we live in our monkey mind, like this crazy.
I love that term, monkey mind. Oh my gosh, it says so much, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And then we don't have that like learned behavior, or that knowledge that we actually can hear our own thoughts and voice, not the thoughts that tell you how horrible you are, what a dummy you are, what an idiot you are, what a piece of shit you are, but to tell you the honest truth and connect with your soul, connect with your higher self that exists without fear, traumas, limiting beliefs, all the bullshit that we collect throughout the years. So that's what intuition is. And of course, you can make it more woo-woo. We can talk about connecting with spirit guides. We can talk about higher vibrations. We can talk about how to receive guidance, how to be more intuitive and psychic, and how it's valuable in everyday life. But again, intuition is a, and in the academy we teach applied methods, like how to apply it in everyday life, how to make intuition something that is understandable, something that can be applied in your life, in your business. Yes, so we make it less maybe woo-woo and more people friendly, user friendly.
Yeah. And I think even just, I think it's definitely, when we talk about higher vibration and connecting with self and source and all of that, I think that narrative is far more common than it was even 3, 4, 5, 10 years ago. So these conversations are actually designed, again, like you're saying, to connect you to your full potential. And when we talk about tuition, though, tuition is what you're going to pay her to go through the school. Okay. So when we talk about intuition, it's interesting to me because some people, and I'm slightly intuitive, which is why going through your course is definitely, no, I'm not.
Don't listen to Paula. She is extremely intuitive. This is her gremlin talking. This is her limiting beliefs, and that's a good example. We just demonstrated.
Live demonstration just
Live
for you, right?
demonstration.
Negative self-talk and not giving myself enough credit. Okay. So, well, okay. So that being said, I understand that I have an intuitive sense, but if I want to grow that, so take us through, we have people who have they don't even think they're intuitive, right? But I think everybody is, as you say, right? You have a loved one, you get a feeling in your gut, and you're like, I better pick up the phone and call them. My dad was very, very intuitive. And my dad used to also like see, I don't want to call it ghosts or spirits, but he saw, the afterlife. People, he was an Orthodox priest. So he was a vessel. And I think in a lot of sense, I've become the vessel from him. So we have some people who are, I think it's just like you're saying, the monkey mind, that aren't even realizing that they could get past this. So how do you take somebody who is just, maybe me, who knows that I want to tap into this deeper and develop it?
Mhm.
And then how do you take somebody who's just beginning the journey and just has no idea how to tap into this?
It's okay not to have an idea, but what's important is the curiosity and desire to be open, to get open. Because if people are not open and they are fighting it we also, it's very important thing that we also learn and teach in the academy: meet people where they are. So there are place and space for to push and to kind of break the resistance, but sometimes people, and then they have to at least have an interest or curiosity to learn more. And then from there, the first very important step is actually not in the technique of how to connect. It's a technique that you can learn like everything else, right? But how to trust your intuition. And trusting your intuition starts with trusting yourself. And trusting yourself starts with changing that monkey mind brain, that limiting belief, critic brain, into shifting from the negative thinking to positive thinking. And you will say, oh, it's impossible. No, it's not, because our thinking is actually habit. It's like everything else. It's a habitual thinking. We get used to lynch ourselves from like early age, or because the society tells us how defective we are. Schools tell us, like, and we have a
Yeah.
lot of great teachers, right? And then
Sit down like everyone else and learn, and don't color outside the lines.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So, but it's a habit. It's a like you learn this habit, and then on an auto, like driving a car, you don't need to think about every like what you do with your hand, with your leg, right? So it's the same thing. So it's like a snowball. Its snowball becomes bigger and bigger with life as you make this habit like really, like you master it so brilliantly with so many years. But the good news that you can change it. We have thoughts and feelings, but we are not our thoughts and feelings. We can create consciously different set of thoughts, because thoughts create feelings, feelings create action. And
Say
if
that
we
again.
think,
Thoughts create feelings, and feelings create action.
yes, absolutely. It's a laser focused methodology that we also teach in the academy. And if you think that, oh my God, I'm such a failure, let's say, thoughts create feelings. This will create a feeling of hopelessness, anxiety, lethargy. You will be like, oh, I don't want to do that. And then it creates an action of no action.
Well, that's interesting. So it's like anything else. If you want to be healthy, you have to eat well regularly. You have to exercise regularly. So if you want to really tap into intuition,
This is your dog?
it's my daughter. Oh, it's my
Your
daughter
dog.
this time. It's my daughter causing the disruption, not the dog this time. So if you want to tap into your intuition, it's just like anything else, is that you have to practice.
Absolutely. It's a like it takes at least 21 days to adopt new habit, and you know it like no one else. You are my hero role model in exercising and healthy lifestyle. So it's the same thing. Take at least 21 days to practice and shift your thinking from negative to positive, and also know that you will fail, and it's okay. The difference is like when you fail, don't give up. Just observe your thinking, and you will get better, because you will be okay. Tomorrow I'll do it differently, or tomorrow I will be more conscious, and you will be. And in 21 days, you will be so much more conscious about your thoughts. There is a great exercise. Can I share quickly that everyone can do?
Please do, because I'd love for you to give people some tools and takeaways for today.
Yeah, so a great exercise, how to retrain, how to create a new habit of positive thinking, which will help you to feel better about yourself. With that, you will trust yourself more. With trusting yourself more, you will be more open to listening to the voice of your intuition, and then how it goes. And then, of course, there are ways how you can train your intuition. It's very trainable like anything else. So, each morning you wake up and you give yourself a new message that is positive, a new message that you want to adopt. Let's say, I am capable, I am hardworking, I'm creative, whatever it is. It has to be personal, right? I am deserving of love, I am uh, um, like I'm brilliant, I'm good at math. I don't know, whatever it is. It's a very personal.
I
uh
always win.
yes, I always win.
I always win.
And even when I don't, I do, right? So
Right? Exactly. Yes.
yeah, so perfect. Like the idea of the message that I'm good enough, right? The negative is I'm not good enough, and then you shift it to I am good enough, and your personal good enough. And then you go with the day, and by the end, and try to use it as a template for your day, and see, are you true, how true are you to this message going through your day. Like, let's say you said yes to something you wanted to say no to, and they're like, yeah, that was not my truth. And at the end of the day, like, count your losses, kind of look through your day and see, okay, here I was true to my message, here I was not true to, kind of like dissect it, but not to judge, because judgment leads to immediate negative thinking again, and then you just like, okay, forget it. But say, okay, here I could do better, here I didn't and then every day do the same thing. Morning, your new positive message, go with the day. At the end, do the audit of your day according to this message, and you will see how every day will be easier and easier. And then like the end of the month, it will already be more on automation
It's a
for you,
muscle. Well,
like a muscle.
I love what you're saying about reminding yourself, take the exercise through the day, because
Mhm.
it's easy to get up in the morning and say, I'm going to have a great day. I'm going to win today. I'm only going to say yes to what serves me, or whatever the thing is that you want. And you can say that in the morning. And then as soon as you get into your schedule, it's like you go back into the same routine, and everybody's coming at you with questions, comments. They need this, they need that, emails. And I mean, that's even the simplest of things. Like, I sit down in front of my computer, I'm going to check my email, but I'm going to do a quick cursory check, because then I have a thing I need to do. But it's easy if I get in. It happened to me. It happened, didn't happen. But so the example is, I sat down today. I had about an hour before I had to start getting ready for the call, and I had to get a couple of things done, but I needed to go through my email. So I'm going through my email. I got an email from the presenter from the workshop yesterday, and he said, "Thanks for being on. Here's these links. Join here, join here." And so I went in and subscribed to the blog, and I emailed him back. So it was real quick. I just, boom, probably took 2 minutes to read the email, bookmark all the links that I wanted. But when I went into the site, there was a whole tutorial to get started. Now, there's a lot. I almost clicked on lesson number 1 and I was like, no, you don't, this is not what you're here for. You're here to just quick answer emails and move on and then do your thing. And that coming into this year, and I don't know if that's an intuitive action or just a discipline action. So even being intuitive requires discipline. Everything we do requires that discipline. And that's one of the things that I'm more committed to this year, is making sure that I'm staying only focused where I need to focus. And I'm going to attempt to not let things take me off course.
Mm-hmm. It's a great topic, discipline versus judgment and guilt, because discipline can be positive and discipline can be like, okay, overdoing things, right? Like what we started our conversation with, discipline with things that are in alignment with what you are, who you are, what you do, and not because of the ego, because of the fear, because of the guilt.
Yeah. For anybody that's listening to this that might be thinking I'm not intuitive, I could never do that. I want to tell you, first of all, we all have the gut feeling. That's your intuition speaking to you. Mm-hmm. And I have the best example that made me pay attention to my intuition about 20 some years ago. I had my first golden retriever and I had just bought this house, and I was driving by. I hadn't taken possession yet, but everything was signed. I had the keys, but was not moved in yet. But I drove by and I see my neighbor and they're just moving in. So they moved in at the same time. So I pull in, I get out, I take the dog, and I said, "Oh, I'm your new neighbor," chit chat. And she had 2 dogs. And my dog, golden retriever, first of all, golden retrievers love everyone and everything. And he was glued to my side. And she was like, "Oh, tell him, let them play. And I'm like, boy, what's going on here? And he did not want to go near these dogs. And I was like, that's so weird. And I was like, go. I'm like, go play. You're a dog. Go play. And that dog trusted me so much that he allowed me to override his intuition. And he walked over and that dog attacked him. He knew. Wow. He absolutely knew. And from that day forward, I was like, if anybody has intuition, it's animals. And we need to take this lesson from them, that when you feel something, when something bubbles up for you, you need to pay attention to that. Now, and I want to dive into that when we talk about the gut feeling like that. And why do some people override it and not listen to what they're feeling? How can we tap a little bit more into, and oftentimes, and I just had this happen with this week with somebody, a friend of a friend. And I every time I'm near this person, I get this, I'm like, and it's cordial and they're a very nice human, but there's something that just gets me like this, right? So this isn't somebody that I would be wanting to go, meet for a cocktail or something. So what happens in those moments? When we get the gut feeling, what does that mean to you? And how do you tell people to tap further into that, assessing that situation and being able to manage through that?
Mm-hmm. To be able to always know when it's your intuition, you have to really know, learn, identify your intuition calling card, signature, voice. because if you don't know your intuition, like the particular intuitive voice, it will be random. One time it will, oh, I think it's my intuition. Next time, oh, it's and there is a danger in that, because let's say one time you feel, oh, it's my intuition, and it is, and you listen to it and you're so happy that you did because it was all right. And then next time you already, oh, I think it's my intuition, and it was not. And it can be very this kind of what the word I'm looking for, um, disinspiring, so to say, because if you fail next time, you will be like, oh, then it's random, it's not. Know your intuitive voice, calling card. How do you learn your calling card? There are, of course, different exercises.
That was my next question. How do we learn our calling card? Yes.
Okay, so the easiest thing is to again, awareness and consciousness help with everything. Make a note, have a journal. If you journal, if you don't, maybe small notes on your phone. Let's say you had a gut feeling, you thought it was a gut feeling, and you listened to it and it was a gut feeling. Then what I would, and every time there's something like that happen, make a note of how this intuition came through, because I can teach you my intuitive calling card, but you will have your own. That's a thing. Like a lot of intuitives teach you their methods, and they say, Paula, you need to join to follow my method. But the problem with that it's their method, and not necessarily it will be applicable and true to you. So what we teach is how to identify and know your own calling card, intuitive calling card. I will share with you my own, but it doesn't mean, because we will have a different clairs, or different way of receiving information, or different experience, anything. And this is like a problem when a lot of great intuitive coaches or intuitives, they teach you just their method, and they say it works. Okay, it works for you, but not necessarily for. So kind of write down the things that where you were right and where you were wrong, and then do what I always say, failure is our friend. I love, like,
Yes.
You need to learn how to love failures, because instead of being upset with yourself, and again use this negative thinking, I invite my clients and students to dissect your intuition. Okay, let's say I had that feeling. How did it come to me? Okay, I felt it in my gut. Then I kind of felt lightheaded a little bit. Then I there was some kind of like a warmth in my like kind of like really dissected to the bone and understand, okay, that's how my intuition comes to me, and that's how my intuition is not coming to me when I'm like maybe agitated, or when it was my wishful thinking or my fear. So kind of make a note of how you receive the information.
Okay, that's great advice. So if I can just clarify a little bit. So is that like if you feel it in your gut, or maybe your hair stands up on your skin, or maybe it's something in your, like you're saying, lightheaded, or it's a smell, right? Like maybe, some people, gosh, I was listening to a podcast. I can't remember which one. And he was talking about when people lie, that when we people in general, we give off pheromones. And he said when people lie, they give off a specific pheromone, and that some people will actually sense through smell if somebody, so you don't actually smell it, right? It's not a smell that comes in your face, but people's sense of smell are heightened, and they can sense through smell that this person is lying because of the pheromones given off. Like, the human body is amazing in that way, isn't it?
Absolutely. But what you just mentioned, it's clairs. Know your clairs. What is your predominant clair, meaning sense? Like we have human senses, right? Like we can see, we can hear, maybe sometimes we can feel, we can smell. And the same clairs, we have our intuitive clairs, our psychic clairs. Some people are more visual. Some people get information more through auditory, or there are people actually who get information through smells and touch.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
know your clairs.
Is
Also,
that CLARE? Is that what you're saying?
CL Claire, CLAIR Claire.
Okay. Just checking. I wasn't sure if it was your accent or.
Yeah, my fancy Russian accent. Yeah, I know.
Whenever I tell people about conversations between us, I suddenly start talking like you.
I know. I have friends who are who have this beautiful British accent, and then by the end of the conversation, I'm trying to show off and speak. Yeah, it's kind of but what we for sure know about intuition, that intuition, this intuitive thought will come to you unexpectedly and will stay persistently. And usually it's not emotional. The thought can be emotional, but let's say you're going through an emotional period of in your life, right? Something is tragic or difficult or painful, heartbreaking is going on. And then you say, oh, my intuition, probably it's not, probably because you are suffering, because you are in a difficult situation, this more your like fears or limiting beliefs or wishful thinking is talking. But intuitive ideas or will come to you unexpectedly about something that maybe you didn't think about, or like what, and it will persist, it will stay with you until you listen or don't, and then say, oh, I wish I did. How we all do, right? So so intuition comes not from a probably a moment of big stress or emotional. In this moments, it's better to have someone to talk to, because you will not be very sometimes it's hard to be intuitive in the moments when your heart is talking, right? When you are going through a very emotional period. But so intuitive thoughts are very persistent. They come sometimes out of the blue, and like you said, they always come with physical expression, right? Like tingling, warmth, feeling in the gut. Some people feel it in their back of their neck. It can be anything, but it will be a physical, it has a physical representation, and also like a thought, like persistent thought.
So Bill is saying society sometimes teaches us to ignore our intuition for fear we may offend someone or be perceived as a very odd person. And I think that is a really common thing. You're in a group environment. I mean, it's again, like talking about, and again, this person that I was around, not a bad human, just not somebody I enjoy being around. Anyway, so, but I also think that in a situation where it could be a dangerous situation if we don't listen to that, right? We're afraid to offend somebody, and so, but that could be a dangerous situation if somebody is, you're not paying attention to your environment. Somebody comes up on you in a parking lot, or from a safety perspective, right? We don't want to, stranger danger, right?
Yes, or what I think Bill is saying, that how to actually approach people, right, with your intuition. Sometimes it can be perceived as offensive or inappropriate, or uncalled for. And that's where what we teach in the Intuitive Life Coaching Academy, we teach intuitives, healers, doctors, entrepreneurs, how to share intuitive observation, how to talk to people that you will not be inappropriate, how to ask for permission, how to ask that question or bring that to them. So you need to know how to do it. That's for sure. So that's why there are so many intuitives who don't know how to communicate with people, and the way they do it can be perceived as offensive or mean or inappropriate.
Well, I love how you're saying too, listening to that inner voice. And if we talk about this from a business perspective, that I always every year, and I think I talked about this last week on the show. One of them, can't remember, but we talked about the words of the year. What words? I choose words every year that are going to drive me, that are going to inspire me, and I don't pick the word. I always say the word picks me. So I go into the fourth quarter of the year and I start writing things down, what happened from the year, what I'm planning for the next year. And as I'm doing that and I'm writing things, then I wait for those words to come to me. And because you can't just pick a word that doesn't connect with you, right? It's kind of like my daughter, right? She chose me, right? I was not in any position to, I didn't want to get pregnant, and I didn't want to have children, right? It's like she had a different plan. So, but things choose us. And so I think listening to that voice of when you're trying to create, when you're trying to have impact, when you're trying to grow your own life, your business, help others, listening to that voice is so critical, because we want to ignore it a lot, don't we?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I like how you said the word chooses you, because we are so kind of used to the society telling us, right, what success means, what health means, what self-care means, that we are kind of on autopilot thinking, oh, I need to say I want more money, or I want success, or like, because it's kind of like a trendy, right? What's trendy?
Yeah.
It's like everyone now has to have the picture with a private jet. It's trending.
Right.
Like, I'm like,
Right.
okay, guys, we got it. But
I've got
the
mine.
yeah, like, okay, great, but something like where it really resonates, where it really go. The best thing also for connection with intuition, for newbies or for people who want to, is start meditating, start quieting your monkey mind, and getting in touch with your thoughts and feelings. Also, everyone is talking about feelings. It's also trending, but not so many people actually know what feelings are, how to feel.
Tell us,
Because
enlighten us.
no one knows how to feel, because we went through so many traumas that we are closed off. We don't want to feel because it's so painful. And they say, oh, just what are you feeling? And then people just come up with the words that they think that that's what it is, when it's not the truth. So kind of like meditation, journaling, coming to our classes where we teach intuition, and how to tap into that, and how to trust it. Or there are a lot of resources, I'm sure. But yeah, the best thing is to connect with yourself, know your own voice, know the voice of your intuition, know what you are, what you like, what you don't, what's true to you, outside the fear, outside of guilt, outside of feeling not good enough, right? So
Mhm.
this is a not, it's easier said than done, but if you start doing it like exercising in the gym every day, you will start also you using and practicing this, you will be able to do that.
Well, I see this as a really incredible tool for everyone, not just business owners, not just healers, not, I mean, just everyone, because we all could use a little more intuition. And even just from the perspective of my clients who want to be healthy, but they won't get out of their own way. They have the feelings of unworthy. These are subconscious feelings of unworthiness, right? The traumas that they can't get past. And when you say meditate, meditate, everybody thinks, for 60 minutes. But listen, meditation is just get quiet. Just get quiet. And when I go into a creative mode, my sweet spot, I was having this conversation the other day. My sweet spot is about 12 to 3 in the afternoon, right? That's my and I've got a chair by the window, and this is how I've created. This is every weekend, and usually it's a Friday or Saturday afternoon, and I take that time and I sit. Nothing's on. There's no radio. There's no TV. Now there's certain you can put on certain music at certain hertz that supposedly help with brain
Yeah.
waves. Personally, I like the pure quiet, but a lot of people have trouble with quiet, that you're so uncomfortable being quiet to tap into yourself that you have to have noise around you. So please pay attention to that. You have to get quiet in order to really do this work. And I think if you can accomplish that, if you can just turn everything off and just sit with a journal or in type. Personally, I was on this workshop yesterday, and I had my journal in front of me. I could have been typing notes, but when you are writing and seeing, the more senses you can engage when you're trying to write trying to learn something, the greater it will get etched into your neurology. So I don't recommend typing your notes. Write them down. You can type them out later. But where do you land on that, Katya?
Absolutely, 100%. It's like a direct connection from like your brain, your mind, your soul, and that's we also practice spiritual writing. When you just take a pen and piece of paper and just like the rules of brainstorming. Sometimes I say brainwashing. Brainstorm.
Hey, you can brainwash yourself. That's
What
okay.
would Freud say, right? So I would just and allow your hand to lead, not your mind. And I will say, don't be in your head. Do it maybe right after the meditation, or right after like going for a walk, right after you woke up, or before falling asleep. When you're kind of like not in your thinking, and allow your pen to drive you, to lead you, and see what comes up, and do it maybe every day, and it also will help with this uh, quiet time. This is because it will help you to connect with yourself, and in terms of time to be off your phone, off your everything. Corner yourself, like trap yourself, basically, like leave your phone at home. I know you guys already like, oh my god, oh my god. It's like anxiety coming. My favorite is like, I say, okay, because hiking, walking is also a sort of meditation,
For
right?
sure.
If you go
Hmm.
on a walk, on a hike, and people say, but what if something happens, if I'm being attacked by a mountain lion, and I'm like, okay, then if you be don't worry, just like it's too late.
Run.
No, too late. But seriously, it's like kind of corner yourself, like leave it at home, like and because if it's in your pocket, very high chance that you
Yeah.
will look at it. I just need to see what time is it, right?
It's
Or
a
something.
it's an automatic. we don't even think we're doing it, right? How many times I know you all have done this. I've walked by the remote control and I've tapped it thinking the light was going to, you tap things that because you're so used to just tapping your phone to open it up that you'll just tap a random thing thinking it's a phone. Like, I know you guys have done, I'm not the only person that's done this, but I will say that one of my favorite things to do is to set a timer, and I set it in small chunks because I will get too antsy if I sit too long. So I'll set for about 20 or 30 minutes, just depending on what I'm working on. And most of the time I set that timer and that timer goes off and I'm like, but I'm not done. It feels like it was only on for like 5 minutes. So you guys can do this. You can easily just sit with a book, sit with a journal, set a timer, put your phone in the kitchen, or, just flip it over. Just discipline. Go back to that word, discipline. Discipline keeps coming up. So I think that's one of my words too. So, so I think that if we can just start off with some journaling, for the new year, that's a great place to start. I want to, as we start to wrap up, I want you to tell people about the school, what it entails. I want you to tell us, before you tell us about the school, tell us your favorite story so far that came out of training somebody, so one of your proteges. What's been one of the most favorite things you've enjoyed hearing by creating this school?
My favorite stories are, and it's interesting, they're coming lately, few stories like that. When, for example, I already worked with people, they were my clients, and I saw their intuitiveness, their profound depth, their amazing gifts. I saw that. And I was, we coach through the gremlins and limiting beliefs, and of course I had to, as a professional, I had to meet them where they were, which means not where I saw them to be, right? And I was like, wow, don't they see? It's like and then with coaching, and then with their own work, all of a sudden I see them where I saw them years ago, and they start to see that too, like awakening.
Yeah, I love it.
I just had a conversation a few days ago with my dear friend, client, and student, a current student, that she's like, oh my God, now I understand what you told me like 10 years ago. Wow. She's like, yeah, now, because, it's kind of like, and she's in the awakening stage, and to see this amazing person who is extremely intuitive, extremely great healer, to like finally see her own power, see her own, like, oh, now I know. And I have no doubt that now her development, her will be very fast, and her growth will be very fast. Also, don't be afraid that we all have our different timing. That one person was able to do it like in 3 seconds, and it takes years for another. We have our own timing, because during that time, when we are coming to that understanding of who we are, it takes time, but we also learn, we also experience, we also collect very important knowledge. So don't compare yourself. Please don't compare yourself with anybody, because you have your own path.
And isn't that is that a result of people's traumas and experiences? In order to get to your intuition, some people have more layers to peel back than others.
100%. It's a result of life. It results of everything. It results of society, our experience, our childhood traumas, how where we grew up, our culture, what parents in our ears, day and night long. Yeah. So absolutely. But to see that light up, that makes me so happy. Like, oh no, I got it. Or like stories when people say, you know what, I really didn't feel worthy. I thought that like my life is not worthy living actually to that degree. And now like I
Mm,
see that I was not crazy. I was just sensitive. I was intuitive. I really wanted to. Now I want to help people. Now I know, like with my experience, with my trauma, and now with the knowledge I gathered in the academy, now I know what to do with that. I'm worthy. I'm now my life is more uh, full, more interesting, more. It makes sense. I love when people say now, it makes sense.
yeah. Yeah, all the pieces come together.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
click, click, click.
And by the way, I would like to invite everyone who is interested to tap into their intuition, to feel complete, to feel authentic, to also learn the modality of helping other people that we teach intuitive life coaching. Invite them to a free 5-day masterclass, Intuition Mastery,
Oh
that
man.
we are offering. It's absolutely free. It's 5 days, and secretly I will tell you even plus more days we will offer. Absolutely free to go through this program, Intuition Mastery, tuning into your gifts for purpose and passion and profit, so that you can live in passion, purpose, and profit.
Gosh, I love that. Do you have a link to that up yet?
Yes, yes, we have
Where
a
is
link.
that?
Uh, I think I will ask maybe Oksana to
Okay.
to post the link.
Okay,
And
I'll put that in the show notes when we get it. That
uh,
is, oh my gosh. You guys, if you do anything, you must. I mean, you must take advantage of that. I will be there. So
oh,
I
thank
know.
you. Yeah. So it's 5 days plus. It's a secret we will share later. It starts on Monday, January 29th.
Okay.
What a better thing to end January is to actually tap into your gifts, into your, and also understand that you actually can make money living in your
Oh, look at that. Yes.
you can do.
Listen, we're all looking for a side hustle, but boy, I see this easily could be a primary hustle for a lot of people looking to do something great for their lives, right?
Absolutely, or incorporate it, and for chiropractors, it's a great a our wonderful students in the program who are incorporating intuitive life coaching and intuition into their businesses, because now they can address not only like health, but now body, mind, and spirit. They also know how to talk to people. They know how to coach them, that this shift health, that they become healthy. And it's not like, okay, I need another adjustment. No, you need adjustment, and this adjustment will stay, because that's what good chiropractors want, right? That they're able to really help their patients.
Well, and it's about not just the physical stress, but the chemical and the emotional. And a lot of people don't give enough credit to the fact that your emotions are stuck in your tissues. Your emotions are stuck in your nervous system. And how many times have I adjusted somebody and they start crying, or I just put my hands on them to start the adjustment, and it brings up things. So we're releasing tension, not just tension, we're releasing tension from trauma, from hidden things people often don't even know. So really, really just important work you're doing, Katya, just to help people to help the chiropractic profession and other healthcare providers, amazing. And then just, everyday people who want to learn more about themselves and getting deeper into what they can do and accomplish. So we're going to make sure we have everything in the show notes. I'll make sure I put that link for the 5-day challenge, which would be great. And, we could even jump on another call, maybe just do a quick 10-15 minutes, and we can do a bit of a recap for what the program is. If you want to do that, get more people signed up, that'd be amazing. And is there anything you want to leave the audience with?
Yes, I would like to leave the audience with a thought that you need to, in order to live life fully, you need to understand that we are all that people, you look at these people and they say, oh, they got it, they know everything, they are no one knows everything. Everyone is struggling, even the most successful, even the richest and the famous people. So know that you are not alone. And also you are not alone in your struggles with worthiness, with understanding who you are, with guilt and questioning yourself every day. We all do that. But I want to give you kind of a sense of hope that it's like a muscle that we can all train and change that. And with that, live a full, happier, more fulfilled, and successful life. So you are not alone. If you want to learn more, please connect with us, and we will be happy to show you how you can start changing and live authentic, happy life.
Wonderful. I just dropped the link. When does the next class start?
February 3rd.
Okay. So you could do the 5-day challenge, which is super timely, because then that could lead you into actually going into the course, right?
Yeah. And for those who are interested, they will be invited to this first class. So they will be able to see what we do and what we are all about.
I love it. So make sure you follow Katya. Again, I'll put the links in the show notes. I did drop the link to her YouTube channel here, but there'll be other ways to reach her, as well as the 5-day challenge here.
Yes.
Post-editing process. So thank you so much, Katya, for joining us. How much I love talking to you. And of course, people are saying they love your accent, and we all do. So
yeah. So
thank you for sharing all your wisdom.
Schedule a discovery call with me. We'll have a link for that. And thank you for the opportunity. And I'm looking forward to see you on True Coaching Conversations.
Yes, I will be on her podcast in the next week or two. So watch for that. We'll make sure we get you on there, or make sure we get that cast over here on YouTube as well. All right. Thanks so much. Thank you guys all for chiming in. Love your questions and the engagement. Appreciate you being here. And we'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow for Reset Monday right here. Let's talk about resetting those resolutions. All right. See you guys. Love you. Thanks again for being here.